Away we go.
Away we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, Marcie. And
hello.
Literally, as I was trying to get everything set up, because we are recording earlier than we usually do today, just because of schedules and things like that.
Significantly earlier.
Okay, but it's not like I'm up at 4 a.m. early. Remember that episode?
That was a time.
I don't even know if that, have to go back and see if that episode actually makes any sense.
I don't think it does, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't think it does either. But it is we are both in the process of getting caffeinated throughout the course of this episode, but it is, as we just literally all of 10 minutes ago? And I think we'll start off the top of the show with this. All of 16 minutes ago, actually. The Toronto Maple Leafs announced that Sheldon Keefe has been relieved of his role of head coach. The organization will immediately begin the search for a new head coach. Craig Berube, welcome to the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. Woohoo!
Woo! Oh,
because that is more of a discussion that we'll have when we talk about because Craig Berube was in the running for the Sens head coach position, which has gone to Travis Green, but that's another discussion. But I guess we can read out the statement. All of this leading up to the press conference that Brad Treliving, Brendan Shanahan, and Keith Pelly will have tomorrow. So we'll bring that whole breakdown discussion on Monday's episode about what was said. Maybe, who knows? But yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs general manager Brad Treliving today announced that Sheldon Keefe has been relieved of his role as head coach. The organization will immediately begin the search for a new head coach, and decisions regarding the remainder of coaching staff will follow. Whatever you do, please keep the video coaches. Do not fire the video coaches.
No.
You're keeping goaltending. You're keeping goaltending. You're keeping video at bare minimum.
Yeah.
I hope that's all understood.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with Curtis Sanford, and there's nothing wrong with the video coaches.
No.
Today's decision was difficult. Sheldon is an excellent coach and a great man. However, we determined a new voice is needed to help the team push through to reach our ultimate goal. We thank Sheldon for his hard work and dedication to the organization over the last 9 years and wish him and his family all the very best. Keefe coached the Maple Leafs to a 21-97-40 record in 349 regular season games. The club recorded 3 consecutive 100-point seasons under Keefe, including a team record 115-point season in 21-22. Keefe was also at the helm of the Toronto Marlies for 5 seasons, during which the team won the McGregor Kilpatrick Trophy as the AHL's top regular season team on 2 occasions, and the franchise's first Calder Cup championship in 2018. And that is all that the Leafs have put out about that. I'm sure tomorrow we will get more answers. But yeah, it's the end of the Keefe era for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Surprisingly, but that also is our 11th fired coach we're talking about on this show.
Yep. Well, you know
and
what?
This time it is our own team.
Record of them announcing it at the perfect time.
Yeah, at the perfect time. Honestly, if they did it right now, it would be pretty hilarious.
Could you imagine?
But they did it right before we started filming the show. I literally went to the kitchen to go get to make myself a cup of coffee, which takes me all of maybe a minute. I have a Keurig, and then I come back to my room and I look at my phone to see what the weather is, to see what clothes I should put on, because I kind of have to be dressed for these. And it right at the top is Sheldon Keefe fired. I was like, oh damn.
It's like, damn, that's the weather. See how today's gonna go.
Cloudy with a chance of
Sheldon Keefe's bags falling off a plane.
But yeah, so which also notably as well, Sheldon Keefe did sign a multi-year contract extension last season, which I know a lot of people were wanting him to get fired last year. I don't think it would have ever been the right decision because of the way the coaching market was working out. And for you, well, why don't you promote someone new? That's not the way NHL coaching works. That's not the way it gets it. Very rarely is someone who's never been an NHL head coach getting that. Like, it's just a turnover of the same guys that all just exchange lockers. I'm sure they probably even exchanged houses. I don't know. But yeah, and because you had a new GM, I think the turnover just would have been like too quick to go, okay, new GM, new coach, have at it. And we would have started off to it would have been a worse start to our season than we had. So, well, yeah.
Oh, dear.
Now starts the fun part where we get to just be like, who is going to get hired? Who is it?
Me. Surprise!
Fragile Living, call us up. We'll coach the.
This is actually the announcement. Heard it first. I personally am the new Leafs head coach. I should put my mom in charge.
Lindsay would get them into shape.
We'd sort them out.
But I know Craig Berube was a name that kept getting thrown around. He was recently fired from St. Louis. I don't know what other guys you go at. Like, that's the thing. I'm like, I'm not too in tune with the coaching market. I just talk about when they lose their jobs.
Yeah, that's kind of all we do, really. We wait until the drama happens.
And then we're like, hey, look, someone else lost their job.
Add it to the little stats list.
Yeah. I think, though, like, it's Sheldon Keefe will end up somewhere else in the NHL working. Pittsburgh Penguins.
Kyle.
But I don't think, like, because he is still, like, he's not a bad coach, right?
No.
Like, you can't be a bad coach and still win the Calder. Right?
Yeah.
I think he just is not the right coach for this team anymore. And obviously, like, time has come. I am, however, like, very surprised that we, like, in the Matthews Marner, like, era of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which we've only had 2 head coaches. It's only ever been Mike Babcock or Sheldon Keefe. So it'll be interesting to see a new voice in there. Maybe they'll find somewhere in the middle of those 2 guys, because obviously, like, as much as we like to shit on Mike Babcock, he had systems that worked, obviously. But it'll be interesting to see if they can find someone to kind of be in between those 2 and see how it goes. I do wonder, like, to be in the Leafs team group chat right now.
Oh, that. What fun that would be.
You think they got, like, memes on tap, like, ready?
They've got the Sheldon Keefe Eminem meme.
The Sheldon. Yeah, like, that's the thing. The only thing is, like, I have so many, like, I'm thinking of, like, all, like, the Sheldon Keefe memes that I can no longer really use. And they'll go in, like, the same folder as, like, my Kerfoot and Justin Hall memes to only get brought out when the Leafs play Sheldon Keefe. And the bunting memes, like, I have, like, just all these. I need to, like, update my hockey meme folder to have more memes. But yeah, I've already been. It's 10:30 a.m. Sheldon Keefe was fired 30 minutes ago. I've already been asked via text on my opinions on Sheldon Keefe getting fired.
What a morning.
What a morning. It's Simon, so I can reply to that text later.
Simon.
It's specifically, it's like his dad via Simon. Like,
incredible.
Yeah. I was like, I Anyways, they're up and early looking at that news.
Yeah.
Because he's in DC. I guess with that being said, like, I don't know, we've talked about this. The next when we can talk about well, keeping in tune, why don't we keep in tune with the Toronto trend and we can talk about PWHL playoffs. Those started last night. Toronto, because they finished first overall, which we knew we had a team with a winning attitude out there, got to pick their playoff opponent. They picked Minnesota, who was on a 5-game losing streak going into the playoffs, despite being the 3rd seed. And Toronto had a dominant, 4-0 performance over Minnesota.
Feels nice to win.
It feels really nice to win. And for those eagle-eyed in attendance, would notice that there's a couple of Leafs, in up in a box in Coca-Cola Coliseum.
Oh yeah.
Joseph Wool and Matthew Nyes, and I'm also pretty sure Bobby McMahon, because I can recognize that mustache anywhere.
Yep. No, it's at this point I realize I kind of have a little bit of probably a video of a very grainy, zoomed in, like, is this them? And I was like, I know those ears anywhere. I can identify those ears with my eyes shut. So thank you, Joseph Wool, for having very distinctive ears. It makes it very easy to identify you in pictures.
I just want to know what's in that backpack. Why is that man bringing a full-size backpack to a hockey game in which he is sitting in a box?
Look, I'm going to carry everything I need in my pockets friend needs their I'm going to carry everything I've ever possibly needed in a big bag friend.
And which one are you?
I'm going to carry everything I've ever needed in a big bag friend.
See, I'm pockets. I'm a firm believer in the pockets.
Well, that explains a lot.
It took me a very long time to admit that I needed to buy a purse. But if I prefer my pockets. If I can walk into an event without a bag, I've succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, I try now to not carry as much around. I'm not very successful in that. Because the size of the bag I take to uni when all I have in it is a laptop, a water bottle, and my phone chargers, it's huge. It's the biggest tote bag I've ever seen, which is brilliant for me because it means I can carry. I've got so much shit in the bottom of that bag, and once in a blue moon, it's useful. So that explains a lot about why we work so well.
But yeah, it does. But yeah, so I will say, there was, I don't know if you weren't following it, but I was following the drama around PWHL Minnesota in that they had very little turnaround to find out who they were playing in the semifinals. I guess it's not really first round; it's semifinals, because there's only 4 teams in the playoffs. But they had a very tight turnaround in finding who they were playing and where they had to go, to the point that like dog and like child care was an issue. And apparently it was a whole thing. Did I send you that tweet? I think I did.
I don't actually, probably, possibly, maybe, who knows?
Because I was talking to you about it.
I don't know if you sent me a tweet about it though.
I don't think I did, but I did explain it to you because
Yeah, you definitely explained it to me.
yeah, so they found out that this is via Julia Taucheri from TSN. A lot of emphasis on PWHL's travel turnaround. They found out on Monday night at 8:30 p.m. that they had to get to the airport for 5 a.m. Major scramble to figure out dog/childcare. Didn't get their gear until 11 p.m. Tuesday night. So no practice on Tuesday and a full team morning skate on Wednesday. So yesterday morning. And to play then Wednesday night, which is kind of crazy.
That is really bad.
And I think, like, obviously there's going to be some growing pains when it comes to this sort of like thing where it's new, it hasn't been that much of an issue before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like it's still getting sorted and everyone's figuring it all out.
Yeah. But it is still a little do you think that they could put more effort into Yeah, no. You think they could put more effort into finding
finding something that works.
Yeah. Something that allows them to, like, because have time to, like, get organized. And I'd like, even if it's just giving an extra day or even an extra, like, 12 hours and not leaving. Like, if Toronto had to make the decision on, like, 9 a.m. on Monday, right? Versus 7:30 p.m., like, that, like, what? Less than 12 hours would still allow Minnesota to catch an afternoon flight or have more time to, like, send over equipment or coaches or whatever, like, because they're not it's not like it's an NHL team, which, like, this sort of concept of, like, the highest seed getting to pick their lower seed opponent would work in the NHL because all of them fly charter flights. The PWHL is not flying chartered flights. They're flying commercial planes, especially when it's like Minnesota, or they're driving on a bus. I'm pretty sure that's what, like, Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal do when they play each other. They just drive buses because it's 6 hours from Toronto to Montreal, and then Ottawa's in the middle at, like, 4.5. So very familiar with that drive myself. But yeah, like, that's the only, but it is a cool concept to think about. It's just, it's like definitely something where it's like you kind of don't want, like, the dad of one of your players driving around at 4:45 in the morning picking up dogs to then just drive them around until places open where he can drop them off.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's not great, and it's just one of those things where it's like it's growing pains, and eventually over time they will figure it out. I think by next season they'll have it more ironed out and they'll realize, hey, look, this didn't go that well. It's kind of like, even as much as you want to say, oh, competitive advantage, it still sucks. You still have, like it's still unnecessary stress that, like, yeah. But in other PWHL news, so Montreal and Boston, they play today, I believe. It's just I wish I could, like, I'm bad with remembering dates, and I wish I could just, like, Google PWHL and it gives me the schedule in the same way that you could do, like, NHL stuff, but yeah, it is today. Boston, Montreal play at 7 p.m. They're playing at Place Bell, which is not where the Habs play. It's where the Laval Rockets play. There is a difference. we've talked about this before on the show, how there's a difference between Place Belle and Centre Belle, and they are
There
not the
is
same
a
building.
difference.
There's a
You know,
difference.
the news of Sheldon Keefe being fired has just hit Facebook because my mum has just sent me a screenshot of the post and said, "Ooh." So she wants all the gossip, so I'm gonna have to do that in a bit.
Wow. Well, also announced today, though, in regards to PWHL, the PWHL names Bauer as their official jersey partner and to unveil redesigned jerseys in 24-25. The league announced a development comes as part of the newly expanded partnership with Bauer, Have Designs, a multi-year agreement that will begin next season. So that's good. Details and names and logos are being kept under wraps. Entirely new team names and logos are currently in the works and will be unveiled when they are ready. I hope they're good.
Yeah. After all this, I really hope they're good.
After all this, I really hope they're good. They deserve to be good, especially with like how good previous professional women's leagues had.
Yeah, there's been some really brilliant ones in the past.
Yeah, there's been some really, really good ones. So I hope that gets to stay. And, that's part of the reason why I didn't buy a jersey this year was because I wanted one with the logo. And I was like, I'm not going to buy multiple jerseys. I want one with a logo on it. So we'll see. Also, Bauer, good company. It'll be hopefully pretty high quality. The irony, though, and not irony, but good for the women's league next season to have probably higher quality jerseys than the men's league than the NHL because the NHL is going to Phoenix, and we all saw the MLB this season and how that worked out.
Yeah, we all saw the MLB this.
Oh my god. Yeah. I guess also as well. Sorry, I'm going without notes for today's episode because usually this is the time of my day where I'd write them out. Did not have time. My sleep schedule has been all screwed up. So I guess we can talk more about the fact that officially the Ottawa Senators have hired Travis Green as their new head coach to sort of come in. The long-awaited serve, blah, blah, blah. A title he's going to hold until the end of the 27-28 season. That's a 4-year deal, which is crazy. I'm sorry. That's crazy. That's almost stupid. This marks Green's second stint as full-time head coach after leading the Vancouver Canucks from the 2017-2018 season until midway through the 2021-22 season, which then got fired for Bruce Boudreau. Man, I miss Bruce Boudreau.
So much.
I miss him so much. After working his way up through AHL ranks with the Utica Comets between 2013-2017, Green became the Canucks bench boss, leading to a 133, 147, 33 record in 314 games. There's a quote here from Steve Stais that developing a winning culture. Sorry. As we've routinely stated, developing a winning culture is paramount to our aspiration of achieving sustained success. And that's a quote, right? I just read you a losing record, right?
Yeah. And
then here we go. Most recently, Green served as the interim head coach of the New Jersey Devils, where he amassed an 8-20-1 record over the final 21 games of the season. That math doesn't work out. I don't know which one is right. 8-20-1 record over the final 21 games of the season. That does not. That's
not I might not be the best with numbers. However, I can tell you as a fact that is wrong.
And I don't know if it's like the final 21 games of the season. If I actually, you know what? We could find this out for you. We could just look it up. That's the thing where I'm like a little like it's yet to be fixed either. Still up on
Interesting.
Oh, his middle name is Vernon.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. Well, I do love the name Vernon. I just think it's really it just sounds really funny.
It does sound really funny. Coaching record. Here we go. Okay. So it's meant to be 8-12-1 in 21 games.
Okay.
So the record is wrong. The number of games is right. So it's 8-12-1. Still a losing record no matter which way you dice it, which I think is really funny to be like, develop a winning culture and then go on to list but go on to like have that in between two losing records.
Yeah, it's bold.
Very bold. And then it goes on to talk about his his playing career, in which he played 970 career games with Islanders, Ducks, Coyotes, Leafs, and Bruins. Blah blah blah. Green picks up where interim head coach Jack Martin led off with this core. After taking the reins for the final 56 games of the season, Martin instilled a sense of accountability and commitment to playing away from the puck that Senators needed. Improvement on. Green will be tasked with continuing to foster that growth in this core with aspirations of taking the next step to become a playoff team. And then there was an introductory press conference yesterday for him that, not gonna lie, didn't watch. It's usually the same standard fare anyways when it comes to a new coach getting introduced.
Yeah.
But I will say though, Travis Green is like known for being very brutal with his player, like bag skates day one of training camp till like very Miracle, where it's like again.
Do I know Miracle?
I know you just rewatched it like 2 days ago.
What? Me watching Miracle?
You did because you texted me about it.
Yeah, I did. It was fun. I forgot to log it on Letterboxd actually.
Well, you can do it after the show.
I can.
But yeah, so no, I don't know. I just like that's the thing where I'm like, he's gonna kill Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, that
was my first thought when like I saw that. I was like, oh, he's
oh my God.
Day one of training camp, he's gonna kill Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Brady. Oh, I've had someone else message me saying, Marcie, what's the tea with the Leafs head coach? Was he fired? And then the little eyes. And these are all people who don't watch hockey as well. So it's brilliant.
Wow.
Oh. But no, thoughts and prayers for Brady Tkachuk. That man will not survive. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all pans out.
Yeah, it will be.
Who knows?
But yeah, so we'll see how that goes in Ottawa. It'll be interesting to see. I'm like, okay, September, come up. Like, I want to see.
Yeah, I'm like, can it be September yet?
Well, not September, August.
Yeah, can it be August yet?
Well, with that, I guess then we'll talk about Vancouver and Edmonton.
Oh my God, I went to sleep last night because I was gonna watch some of the game. I went to sleep because I was like, oh, Canucks are not having a lot of fun right now. And I was like, I think it's just gonna be miserable. And then I wake up. Oh, what has happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the Canucks that I was hearing about 6 hours ago?
Yeah. I went to bed at 9:30, 8,
Oh,
I think. I went to bed really early.
that
I
is an
went
early night for you.
that's because that was after I'd fallen asleep on the couch. But then I was up at like 4 a.m.
I did think you were messaging quite early. I was sat and I was like, hang on a minute. What
Yeah.
are you doing?
It's because I was falling asleep on the couch at like 9 o'clock.
Oh.
So I was like, okay, well, instead of like my roommate's like subletter finding me like passed out on the couch at 9 p.m., I'm gonna go like at 9:30, I'm gonna go to bed. And I fell asleep really quickly. And then I don't know why. I don't know what it's been. I think, well, I didn't have an energy drink yesterday.
You are exactly like my housemate who has as much caffeine as she can every single day.
Look, I usually need it to like focus in class, but I didn't have one yesterday because it was more discussion-based class, so it wasn't like as much lecture. But I'm trying to like improve my caffeine consumption. It's not working. I'm sitting here drinking a coffee. So, but yeah, so no, Canucks were down 4-1 at 8 point. Oh yeah, halfway through the second. And somehow managed to, in the third period,
pull through.
Stave off. But like in the third period, hold on. I gotta look at this box score. I want to see the shots in the third period. Where can I look at that stat? Oh, here we go. Only allowed the Oilers to have 4 shots on net in the second and third periods.
That's
like 4 shots in the second period, 4 shots in the third.
That's crazy.
McDavid didn't have a single shot on net.
Oh dear. Oh, Connor.
I mean, it is proven to like how dangerous like the rest of the Edmonton Oilers are, that you're like able to keep Connor McDavid to no shots on goal and still being able to like, and they still are able to score four goals. Yeah. But yeah, Zach Hyman had 2 goals. What? And no one else was given any others. Huh? Oh, actually, sorry, no. Cody Ceci and Matthias Ekholm. I was not looking at the defenseman. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up.
It's like, yeah,
Canucks came back to win 5-4, which is crazy. Which also then Vancouver is up in the series 1 game. That was game 1, which that is, I will say, like, I am very excited for Oilers and Canucks. That series is going to be very fun to watch. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be very fun, exciting to watch series. It's going to be very interesting. I think it's more of a test for both of those teams in terms of the fact of like, it's a test for Edmonton, kind of like in the way where they've been very much akin to the Leafs, like not in the same way of like, not with the same, like in the same way where it's like, because Edmonton has won multiple playoff rounds. But I think more in the way of like, it's kind of, people have always have looked to them of like, hey, could you win with a core built that way? We'll see. Who knows? And Vancouver's just a young team that, haven't really been to the playoffs. They've been in the bubble, yes, but I don't know if that really counts.
Yeah.
You know, and it's still a pretty young team in terms of that, a young and like a new team as well in terms of its construction. So
yeah, I am excited to watch. Well, I say watch. It's all quite late for me.
watch the highlights the next day.
Yeah, to watch the highlight. No, to wake up, scroll on Twitter for 10 minutes, then be like, oh, the game was good. Watch the highlights.
Yeah. Well, because that's the thing is like I went to bed before the game even started. This is why I can't fully commit to be like I don't know how people on the West Coast are fans of like I don't know how people on the East Coast are fans of West Coast teams. I can't commit to being one. I just can't stay up that late and like watch games. I'm sorry.
No.
I like 10 o'clock start. I think this game even started at what 10:30.
Yeah, I think
It was too late for me. Too late for me.
Too late for Emma.
Too late for me. I went to bed, but it was like I woke up at like 4 a.m. I don't know why. I've been doing that recently. It sucks. And I like I check Twitter and like it's like a war zone.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Between this and then the Bruins and Panthers game, which we'll talk about that game in a second. We'll talk about that game in a second. Between those two.
Oh my.
I was like, maybe I'm a little bit glad I don't have dog in the fight with this one. I can witness everything from afar and be like, oh, okay, well, our coach is getting fired tomorrow.
You're like, I'll watch your team go up in flames because ours is gonna go up in flames.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, so I don't know. It was just like weird. It was like, but also as well because then you also deal with like the British Columbia Alberta like beef, and that's like a big thing. They like hate each other.
Oh, the drama of it all.
The drama of it all. But yeah, I guess also we'll talk about the only other. Well, not the only other ongoing series, but the other game last night was Bruins and Panthers. That was a bloodbath.
What happened?
Jeremy Swayman died.
Yeah, could he not have done that?
Like literally
not
2 games ago.
Like very recently. Could he not have gone, you know what? Oh, there's a big fly in my room. Oh, that's huge. Sorry, I've just noticed it like fly right next to my head.
Yeah, could he not have done it?
Yeah, like a week ago.
I would have loved to face an .826 save percentage Jeremy Swayman.
You know what? That would have been my favorite version of Jeremy Swayman. What happened?
I don't know. They pulled Jeremy Swayman after he allowed 4 goals right at the start of the second period. Sorry, right at the start of the third. Not the second. Right at the start of the third period. And then put Ullmark in, who then went on to allow 2 goals on 10 shots.
Ugh.
And there was only 1 goal scored, and it was scored by Charlie Coyle. By Boston. And Florida scored 6.
Which I find deeply entertaining.
Alexander Barkov having 2.
What a night. What a night.
You know, and who's Steven Lorentz?
I don't know.
He looks like a child. He's 28 years old. 7th round pick, 186 overall, picked by Carolina in 2015 from Kitchener, Ontario.
Ah, big up.
He played 38 games this season with Florida.
I think the fact that I don't follow Florida outside of like watching whatever antics Matthew Tkachuk gets up to.
He was included in the traded to Florida by San Jose with a 5th-round pick in the 2025 NHL draft for Duclair on July 1st, 2023.
Interesting.
Okay. There we go. That I was like, knowing that name does not seem familiar, but I was like, how did this guy end up in Florida? That's how.
What brought him here?
I don't know, but did you see the fight between Tkachuk and Pasternak?
Yes.
That wasn't really a fight, as it was just watching two rats like wrestle with each other.
No, literally, that's exactly what I watched it, and I was like, bro, why is he like digging? You're not gonna get very far. You're digging. That's not gonna work.
There was no punches thrown. That was just two rodents wrestling with each other.
Genuinely, it was like, you know, like cartoons when two people fight and they go like that. Just like both clapping their hands. That's exactly what it looked like.
But yeah, no, that was I saw that video the next day and I was like, bro, what the fuck? Honestly, I don't even know the lead up to that. I think at that point, like, Boston was already losing.
Yeah, it's a crazy time. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how that series goes. Because it's just so scrappy. There's so much drama. Everyone's at each other's throats, and I'm sat there giggling away, being like, I'm happy to watch either team's downfall. So
yeah, no, that's the thing. I'm here to whatever team will go on to win this series. Hopefully they just like bruise each other up quite a bit. We'll then go on to face my New York Rangers. That's who I'm bandwagoning so hard now. It's the New Year. Hey, look. They got me a while ago. I was already deeply endeared by the New York Rangers a long time ago because I have a friend who's a big Rangers fan and she will just send me like all the gay shit.
Oh no, my updated bracket, my second.
Who are you rolling with your second chance bracket?
I want my little Vancouver Canucks. I've got them as.
You want to see try and witness Quinn Hughes try and raise the cup above his head?
Yes, I also want to witness Quinn Hughes like smile. Like just once, like they've won the cup. He lifts it. He struggles. He goes, oh no, it's quite heavy. And then just the corners of his mouth just turn up slightly, ever so slightly, until
and he's experiencing pure unadulterated joy in that moment.
And then he's just like, I've never been happier. With like the saddest look on his face. But I have Canucks in 7 for this series.
I think that will be a pretty drawn out series. It's going to be close.
Because
there's still no word on Demko returning.
No. It's really shit for him.
But yeah, I don't know. I did, however, watch Rangers and Canes. We have our first double overtime of the playoffs.
Woohoo.
On Tuesday was Rangers and Canes went to double OT. My rule is once it hits double OT, literally anything can happen. Anything goes.
Absolutely.
Pure chaos can I do want like a 4 OT game again because
I want to see how many overtimes we can hit.
No, That's I think you can hit, like, you can keep going, but like I want like a 4 OT again. But like when it doesn't involve a team that I like, when it like I have no horses
When
in
you can
that
just
race.
sit, watch, and giggle because you don't care who wins.
You don't care who wins. You're like not really invested.
You just have so much fun watching both teams just go another overtime. And then they just come back, like, they progressively just spirits broken, hopes and dreams on the floor, shattered in pieces, energy nowhere to be seen. Children watching, knocked out, falling asleep. I want to see all the chaos, the drama. But no, I want a big, like, multi OT game.
Me too. I feel we haven't gotten one since like the big like 4 OT. Was it 4 OT? It's like in the bubble.
So was that one last year? I can't remember how many that went to. That was 4, wasn't it?
4 OT NHL game. Trying to Google it. Blah blah blah. There was 6 OT in 1936. But yeah, Vincent Trocheck. Oh, 6 longest game. Here we go. There was like Panthers and Hurricanes. Was 4 OT, and it was last year.
That was.
But then we also did have one in the bubble, I think, as well, in the bubble playoffs. Because I remember it was a 4 OT, and there was no one there in the stands because there couldn't have been.
Oh, because that'd be even worse. Because like at least if you've got people there, it's like at that point you're just trying to win it so you can let them go home.
Yeah, no, but Vincent Trocheck with the OT winner for New York, and in the playoffs, overtimes don't matter. You just has to win. So that means New York is 2-0 up on the series against Carolina. Did you see the Trouba hit where he like fully?
Oh my god, girl! If you're gonna jump, you've got to tuck your elbows in. You can't flail around.
You also have to try not like run like head first into the boards. The way I'd be waking up with like a sore neck for 2 weeks afterwards. As someone who has hit her head on something recently.
Oh my.
And by recently, I mean it was a couple months ago when I went head over heels.
Oh yeah, you did.
Right? Like, and that was just once, and I was doing it onto snow and not into boards, and it wasn't like crazy fast either. I still like had a sore neck and like whiplash for like a week afterwards.
You were suffering. You suffered.
I have a sore neck now, and I think it's because I think I need new pillows on my bed because they're not fluffy enough, and I don't want to. I'm like, you know how I have Phil? My you know how I have my polar bear from IKEA named Phil?
Yeah.
I've been using him as a pillow because they've been more comfortable than.
No, that's what I do.
I've been using instead of my pillows. He's been more comfortable than my pillows. So I've been using him as a pillow.
Yeah, no, this is probably.
Oh. Yeah, mine is over, but I'm too wired in. I've got my head. That would require me taking my headphones off to get them. I'm wired in.
Our pillows, they could have met. They could have become friends, but no.
Sorry. You'll meet next time. You'll meet Phil.
Yes.
Who? Yes, he is named after Phil Kessel.
I mean, who's surprised? Not me.
I miss Phil Kessel. He just like every so often, like he'll just like appear, and it's like him living his best life out in Arizona.
Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? I love that for you, Phil.
Yeah. One more thing we're going to talk about, because why not? News this week. Well, a couple more things actually. Leafs center Pontus Holmberg is going to Worlds to represent Team Sweden. We talked about David Camp last time representing Czechia. And then also in other news as well, in regards to Team Canada and changes that were made, Team Canada has added reinforcements for the Men's World Hockey Championship, and Pierre-Luc Dubois, Nick Paul, and Brendan Hagel are joining Canada. Macklin Celebrini and Adam Fantilli have made the decision to return home. Celebrini is obviously tied to the NHL draft lottery, in which he was on the broadcast. We'll talk about that in a second. I also remembered we have that to talk about as well. I don't know in which world Pierre-Luc Dubois in 2024 is considered a reinforcement. But I don't know. Marcie's frozen, so yeah, Marcie's Wi-Fi's died, so now I get to talk to myself. This is great. This is fantastic. Marcie's Wi-Fi has died, so she is temporarily frozen. So, but I this is just gonna be Emma talk shit about Pierre-Luc Dubois while Marcie's Wi-Fi gets back on board. Pierre-Luc Dubois, to me, is a really interesting player to look at because on every team that he's played on, he's made that team worse, and this goes all the way back to his days in the Q. Like truly every team he's played on has been worse with him on it, which then like at some point, I don't know if it's like a locker room thing or if he just is like that type of player that like makes you worse. Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Sorry, I was just shit talking Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Without me?
Yeah, because I was reading off the fact that him, Nick Paul, and Brendan Hagel are joining Team Canada, that they've sent Celebrini and Fantilli home. But yeah, so Pierre-Luc Dubois, I was just saying, like, there's a video out there. There's a YouTube video that I watched this week in which it literally outlines how Pierre-Luc Dubois has made every team that he's ever been on worse.
Oh no.
And it goes all the way back to his days in the Q. It's not just like him in the NHL. It literally goes back all the way to when he was in the Q.
Oh god. Well, go Team GB.
R.I.P. the Macklin Celebrini hat trick I really wanted.
Oh.
Yeah, but I will say though, Nick Paul and Brendan Hagel, as much as I hate playing against having to like play against them, they are good additions to your lineup. They are good players. Unfortunately. As annoying as it is to watch them score against the Leafs every single time we play each other. Like, I just want to see Nick Paul's stats against the Leafs specifically. Because I feel like every time the Lightning play the Leafs, he scores.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know in which world Pierre-Luc Dubois is. But yeah, apparently, like in relation to that decision, like Celebrini and Fantilli like took their roster, like accepted their roster spots with the knowledge that should better players become available as their team loses in the playoffs, they might have to go home. Which like kind of sucks to like fly across Europe for like 4 days, play a single game, like a single pre-tournament game, and then have to fly back home. And then in the case of Macklin Celebrini, literally have to show up on like live TV that's going to be aired like across North America like the next day. Because they did have Macklin Celebrini on set for the NHL draft lottery.
That they did.
Which was the 30 minutes of my life I will never get back because that could have been an email. Because nothing changed in the draft order from the odds. First time since 2010. That's why because I was thinking, I was like, this is really weird that nothing has changed, even among like the bottom teams where there is sometimes more shuffling than up at the top because of just how like close the percentages are. But yeah.
You think like, oh, we want the drama.
Apparently the ping pong balls do not want the drama.
No.
But yeah, so Macklin Celebrini will most likely be a San Jose Shark, which is nice. His family does have ties to the area. His dad was I think still is, or at one point was, the head of, like, the director of sports medicine for the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. And so, like, they were able to get a quote from head coach Steve Kerr on what Mako and Celebrini is like, which is so
out there, out of the.
But yeah, so it's nice. His family does have ties to the Bay Area. Also, teal's is probably the most fun color you could wear out of your options that you had. Best jersey out of your options, because the Ducks are getting rid of their purple 30th anniversary jerseys, which I still think they should just stick with those.
They should. They're so much nicer.
The stupid D logo, garbage. It sucks.
Get away. Don't want it.
The thing that pisses me off is, like, the Ducks had, like, the perfect jersey.
And
then they ruined it, and then they won a cup in it. So now it's, like, immortalized forever. Also, as well, one more thing I wanted to talk to you about is where is that list of names? Is the Utah team Utah team? I don't know. 20 potential names for Utah's NHL franchise have been released and open to a fan vote. I'm gonna read them off to you, and then which is kind of why I wish we had video for this show, just because I would love to see your facial expressions as I read these off to you, and I'd love the people to see them. But we've got Utah Venom, Utah Ice, Utah Freeze, Utah Fury, Utah Blizzard, Utah Blast, Utah Mountaineers, Utah Caribou, Utah Frost, Utah Outlaws, Utah Canyons, Utah Mammoth, Utah HC, Utah Glaciers, Utah Squall, Utah Powder, Utah Hive, Utah Yeti, Utah Swarm, and Utah Black Diamonds.
Well, that was a list of names.
Too many of them. Like, okay, I am not familiar with the general climate of Salt Lake City in particular. I am well aware that Utah does get cold weather. I am well aware that they have ski hills there. I would like to ski in Utah one day just because they have really nice mountains there. But, like, the team, and I know that it's like the state, whatever, but the team is playing in Salt Lake City, a place that has a very notably, like, mild climate.
Like,
there's too many names that have to do with, like, winter and cold there.
Yeah, I can't say I'm a fan of, like, any of them.
Well, because that's the thing where it's like, it's not like, there isn't, besides the Colorado Avalanche, right? There is not another team that has, like, a sort of winter / cold weather-esque name to it. Even, like, right? Like all the Canadian teams are objects, right? Like, but it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. I don't like, also, like, a couple of these are too Canadian, I think.
Yeah, I saw people pointing that out, and then I was like, shit, yeah, that.
Caribou specifically is too, like, that's one that really stuck out to me at first, where I was like, that's very Canadian. I will say, out of this list, I kind of like Outlaws. I think you can do fun things with the concept.
Yeah. I think with what they've, like,
what they've provided us as the options, like, the thing is like, the Utah, again, I don't even, like, Team Utah, that sounds really stupid. The Utah NHL, go Team Utah. It'll be one of these names, right? Black Diamonds is very skiing related right off the bat, which, like, is gonna go off that, like, if you do that sort of branding, it's gonna go off over, like, so many people's heads outside of Utah. Like, there's gonna be so many fans who are gonna be like, that's stupid, what's a black diamond? I'm like, guys, like, it makes sense. It's a very hard hill, but like it still is dumb. I don't know. Like this is not how I wanted like my two things to collide in that way. But I like Outlaws just purely based on like the fun you can have with that branding.
Yeah, it's a very like it could work really well.
Like you already like I'm sure you already in your head have some like fun mascot concepts you can think of right away, some colors you could work with. I don't know. That's the one I like out of this list, for sure. I am now only because like I'm just like really confused. I'm gonna look up like the weather for Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Like the climate.
Mm.
May experience a Mediterranean climate. Winters are cold and wet, but rarely frigid. What's 22 degrees Fahrenheit in 6.3 days at or below 12.2 degrees Celsius? So that's like mild. Okay,
Yeah.
so they do get like a total average of 60 inches of snow. So they do get like snow and stuff. I didn't really know that. I don't know that much about Salt Lake City or Utah. I really don't.
Yeah, I'm not very knowledgeable. I don't tend to care much about Utah.
No, but but like for place that gets maybe at max 60 inches of snow in a year, having so many of these like snow related names, I don't get it. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I maybe I've already like latched onto Outlaws and I'm like, that's the one I want because that one's the coolest one.
I mean, it is the coolest one.
Yeah. Also, because like all the other ones, like they don't like, I'm sorry, Utah Squall. Oh yeah, the Squall.
Yeah.
Utah Powder. Ooh, I mean, there's some jokes that can be made with that one.
Yeah, I feel like that was an oversight.
That one is set like if you name your team the Utah Powder in the NHL, your NHL team, a league that has historically had problems with certain types of powder to the point where like I'm sure we all watched the Boreas Salming series.
Yeah, we all know.
We can all know what I'm talking about here. That's an oversight. That's only setting yourself up for jokes there. Like,
yeah, that.
It
will be very funny if it ends up.
Yeah, but I'll be like really upset that we won't get outlawed. I don't know. I just really like it. I think it's fun.
It is. It's fun. It's funky. It's different.
Yeah. We don't really have one that like is like that. I don't know. You could like get like a cowboy or something in there.
Yeah, we want an unserious team.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe the problem that I'm having with like looking at these options and trying to like find one that I'd like is that like the branding of the Arizona Coyotes and like the Kachina and everything is just too good.
So good.
Like we're losing some great colors. We're losing a great logo. We're losing a name that just like works with the area and works with like the vibes and everything. And I'm just like upset about it.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It'll be interesting because apparently, so it's been announced also as well, and like in relation to this, that next year, next season, that Utah whatevers, I don't even know, will not play with a logo, a name, or even I think colors, which I don't understand. So what are they going out there like? Will they like if they're not playing with colors? Are they just going to go out in black and white jerseys with Utah across the front?
Or alternatively, no jerseys. This is how we grow the game.
You just want to see Alex Kerfoot out there without a jersey on.
What? What? Oh. Me. Don't look at me like that.
Am I wrong?
I mean, no, but like, still.
Yeah, but with that, I don't. But like, that's the thing. I'm like that. I don't get. We're like, not that I don't get, but like, it's like I don't know. That'll be like, will it be black and white? Will they have colors? I cannot. I'm just like thinking about like how boring it's got to be for like as a player to just like go out and like, you know what I mean? Like, because this is what I'm thinking. It's like, I'm remembering when I played house league soccer, and there was a league that I played in growing up where each of the different teams was like a different country. Right? And this is like house league soccer, right?
Yeah.
And so you would make up all these, like, you would have little like cheers or whatever, but it would be like, go like, I don't know, like England, or like go like Argentina. It only came to my head because one year I was on Team England.
Oh my gosh, you're British now. Congrats.
But and it was just weird. Like, I don't know, it was hard. There was not just, again, it was house league soccer, so like it didn't really matter. But like, this is an NHL team. I don't know, like, if you're like, how do you play for something when it's like you're just, you know what I mean? Which I know, like, if you're in the NHL, like, there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, well, these guys are in the NHL, they should just be able to like go out there and play good hockey. I know, but there's still like a mental aspect of like, you know what I mean? Like having a crest or a logo that you like can get behind and you can stand with and like be like, this is what I represent.
Yeah.
And it's which then I'm gonna be like, because I know those are gonna be the same people who are gonna be like, well, you played for the crest on the front of your jersey, not the name on the back or whatever, like that. Whenever we, anyways, that's like, then that delves into a whole new argument where I'm like, yeah, you want to play for the crest on the front of your logo, but when there isn't a crest on the front of your front of your logo, when there isn't a crest on the front of your jersey that you're playing for, it's just, I feel like it's kind of weird, especially because like the thing that I don't understand is like, if you are like this new ownership group coming in, how do you go to the league and be like, I want to buy a team, and the team, like Gary Bettman or whatever in the league, comes back to you being like, okay, so like, if you are going to buy a team, what are you going to call it? Right?
Yeah,
like, what are you going to call it? What is it colors going to, like, come to me with something like this before you can buy a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you would think that would be part of, that's the thing that I thought, where I was like, I thought this would be something that would be like a part of their proposal. But was not.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that being said, I think we'll end it here. Talked about a lot of good stuff. Have a good episode. Locked in the bag. I guess on Monday's episode we'll talk about what came of the press conference with Brad Treliving and Brendan Shanahan and Keith Pelly, and sort of that sort of thing. Any games throughout the weekend that happen, any news that takes place. I don't know, we'll talk about it. There's like no Leaf games to talk about, so I'm like, I guess
what are we supposed to do?
Watch other hockey games.
I mean, yeah. Like, also, what are we supposed to do with ourselves?
It's hard to realize like how much of the show we spend talking about the Leafs until we have no more Leafs hockey to talk about, and we're just like, well, I mean, we have had a reason to bring them up every other, like, since then, like this episode we've had to talk about them because Sheldon Keefe has gotten fired, but
Yeah.
Still. Well, I hope you guys liked this one. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back on Monday with a new episode. Yeah, Monday. Sorry, I just had to like look at the date, and then I realized my calendar is not flipped to the right date. We'll be back Monday with a new episode. With that being said, yeah, find the show wherever you get your podcast. Follow the show on Twitter to stay up to date and never miss an episode. We tweet when we put them out. That's at From the Fourth Line with the number 4 TH. Follow Marcie on Twitter at 6toleafs. You can follow myself at PairB1. Thank you so much for listening. Bye for now.
I can't even say Go Leafs Go.
No, that's the thing. Can't even say Go Leafs Go. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.